Hey, how's it going there, ladies and gentlemen, Ponies and Gentlecolts? This is the one, the only criticism guy, 2008, Candy Time Free 2011. All my main viewers and subscribers, you guys know the rest. Before I begin, this video is brought to you by, once again, that same old small little Powerade. Had it for 3 days straight, but you know what? Still lasts me pretty good. Before I begin this movie review, I've been wanting to do this for the past 2 months since this movie came out. I am very proud to say, extremely proud to say, on my Nintendo for 2011 channel, I'll be doing another unboxing for Pokemon right here. And my Pokemon anime manga fans, you know, you like that little trading card unboxing I do? I got more in store for you. It's the Platinum Storm edition, so be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to my second channel, Nintendo for 2011, so that way you're more up to date on it, or just go on my Facebook and Twitter, see what kind of videos I'm liking and I'm subscribing to, you know, the works. So without further ado, let's begin. Sorry I'm clapping so much. So yes, Oz, the great and powerful. And let me tell you, before I begin this video as well, one of the most greatest professional actors out there, you know, you had James Franco, Mila Kunis, Rachel Weiesz. You even had the two moreno actors, the black actors, were awesome as shit. Tony Cox, the one that was all in all those Friday movies, you know, the short little midget dude. Funny as shit. Actually, a little bit funnier than that dude, Cat Williams. It's crazy as shit. He was in a lot of scary movies. He was in even that Fairly Odd Parents TV show movie. So, at first, he even did that Bass Center one. Like, at first, I actually thought he only did, usually a lot of adult movies and shit, but no. He actually did little kid movies, too. So, I was pretty shocked to see him in this movie, because usually he's got a little bit of a dirty mouth on him. You know, he's all ghetto and from the hood and shit like that, but he's still funny as shit, though. Very funny, African-American comedian. And I actually found out on Wikipedia he was born in New York, so I didn't know he was from the East Coast like I was. Awesome. Yeah, so basically, of course, like I said, Oz the Great and Powerful, you know, basically you got James Franco, Mila Kunis, Rachel Weisz, which I actually thought that girl Rachel Weisz was from the one from Sherlock Holmes, The Game of Shadows, the one that played that popular girl from Mean Girls from back in the day, not Lindsay Lohan. You already know she's a fucking crack whore by now. The other one, that was that super popular one, and she gets fat, she wears those little sweatpants and everything. I don't know her name, but she's real fucking cute too. I think it was Rachel McAdams. I thought that's who they were talking about, but no. This is someone else, but she was still hot too. So I'm not going to get too deep into the movie, even though I said that for 20 and over, and it ended up being like 24, 25 minutes, but it's going to give you a little bit of the highlights that went down on this. So basically, I didn't go see this in 3D, even though I'm wearing my 3D glasses now, because I wanted to save a little extra money for, like, when I went out to Subway or Wingstop or wherever other fast food restaurant is out there, you know. So, yeah, if I would have seen this in 3D, I would have definitely got my money's worth, because there was a whole bunch of CGI that was heavily used in this film, which I was already expecting from the get-go, so it wasn't really no surprise. But it was literally, the graphics in it was beautifully, you know, beautifully detailed, you know, very highly, you know, state-of-the-art technology right there, you know. Basically, in the beginning, it starts off as James Franco. He's basically a con artist, rip-off, you know, con man, you know. He's doing just little magical magician things in Kansas City somewhere. The year is actually 1905, so it's way before World War II starts. I think it was probably around the time when the Wright brothers were inventing airplanes and Titanic was made and shit, you know. Even when Thomas Edison back in the 1800s would have made shit, you know. He probably died around that year, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, basically it starts out with him, James Franco. It starts out with that old school kind of vibe thing, you know, when it's all black and white. But they're actually talking stuff. You actually hear the sound. Because I thought they were going to put subtitles the whole time. I'm like, oh God, really? Come on. I know you're trying to get to that old school feeling, but at the same time, come on. Really? It's like 2013, but you know, I can understand. I want to capture that moment in that time period in the early 1900s. Oh, and before I did see this movie, I actually saw like 3 brand new trailers that are coming out this year. There's that one, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, The Great Gatsby, which I actually saw that one in my sophomore year in high school, the original one, the 1905-06 one. And then another one with Will Smith and his son Jaden Smith. They're going to be making a movie together. I think it's called After Earth. So it looks pretty kick-ass. I actually might want to go see that one. And another one I'm trying to think of. Fuck, what was it? Really kick-ass one. It was actually pretty much comedy. It had Tina Fey and that dude Paul Rudd. The one I did in my earlier Criticism Guy channels and my Nintendo Free channel. The one that was that the idiot brother. He's making a movie with her. It's called, I think, Association or something like that. Looks pretty much real fucking hilarious. I might check that out. You know, he worked with Seth Rogen a couple times. He's pretty funny, you know. Might check that movie out later on in the fall or whatever. But yeah, other than that, basically the Great and Powerful Oz has a lot of, tricks and everything. It's really fucking funny, Basically he's trying to be from a good man to a great man. He wants to be something like where people remember him forever, like Gandhi or fucking, who else in history? Like Jesus maybe, or even, like Caesar, who else? Donatello, Michelangelo, basically really extremely powerful men that actually left they left a legacy on this earth before they died. He wants to be that well known, even Gandhi and all of them, or Mr. Roosevelt, George Washington, etc. The list goes on. Even said Einstein too, and that other dude, Mr. Newton or whatever, Basically, he wants to have his name in the history books, And he's trying real hard to do that, but it's really extreme. It's a really huge, hard struggle for him to do that because he's trying to put on a show for people and everything, and everyone's booing him off the stage because he's trying to do this one trick. He's like, oh, there's no wires onto it. It's like, is there really wires in there or not? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna cut them off, and he just vanishes this girl out of thin air. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's the truth. And then this one little girl's like, oh, you inspired me. She's like, I'm not trying to make fun of her or not. She's like, oh, can you help me to walk? Can you heal me? I want you to help me walk, please. And it's like, darling, I'm just a magician. I'm not a miracle worker. Which he didn't say that, but I think he should have said that. It's like, oh, you're a con man, you're an artist. And they start throwing these tomatoes and stuff like, boo, boo, fuck you, They didn't say fuck you because, it was the early 1900s, And then after that, he finds out he sees the love of his life is his girlfriend. I forgot what her name was. And that's when he's talking about he wants to be in history books and everything. He's like, no, it's not that kind of girl. I love this woman and stuff. And then he finds out she's getting married to this other dude. I think his name was Greg or something like that. He's like, oh, I mean you, Greg or Matthew. I forgot his name, but he's like, you guys have a good life together. He's a great man. And then after that, he finds out one of these muscle man artists. He's like, Oz, I'm gonna go kick your ass, Oz. And his name is like Oscar something in the movie. I think it's Oscar Potts or something. And basically, oh, I'm gonna rip your head off, you motherfucker. He's breaking the door down. He's like, and he's doing all these little crazy tricks and everything. He's like, he does it with his cover. I don't know what it's like. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. And he's getting all pissed at him. And one of his assistants, he gives him his hat and his leg. He's like, phew. And then he gives him the other thing too. He's like, oh no. And I'm gonna get out of here. And then this guy, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get you. And he goes in this hot air balloon. And that's where all the real adventure begins right there. And then what happens after that? It's like, oh no, you don't. And then he pulls out this pocket knife out of nowhere. He's like, I'm gonna escape. You can't get me. He's like, ha ha ha, see you later, suckers. And then after that, he gets his luggage and his hat and everything, his little top Willy Wonka hat, except it's not blue, it's black, like this one, except it's not a fitted, of course. Yeah, other than that, he finally gets out in the middle of nowhere and everyone's running away from him. He's like, oh, what the heck is going on? And after that, the second he sees that, he sees a big-ass giant tornado. He's like, oh no, I don't want to die. I haven't even done anything great or powerful yet. And then all these things are just flying at him. There's this big giant, one of those things, I forgot what they're called. They're like accordion machines, except the only difference is that it was flying towards him. It was like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It was like, whoa, what the hell? I could see how this shit was a lot better in 3D than it was in just the 2D format. And after that, they show these little picket fence things. They're stabbing the little balloon, and they're barely stabbing him at all. And then after a while, time stands still, and then after that, he grabs his hat in slow motion. That's when it goes from black and white to color, and it just starts. The screen goes from short screen, and then it goes like this real slow. Like, whoa, really? That's all I was gonna say. Come on. I know the movie wasn't gonna be black and white. I just didn't want it to be in this screen format. It needs to be like this, wide screen, And then after that, he finally gets to Oz after that big ass giant tornado teleports in there. He goes all over the fucking place everywhere. He's in this big ass giant forest or Amazon or whatever. And then that's where he ends up meeting Mila Kunis, which she doesn't know. I think she ends up being an evil witch later on, but it's another witch after that too. And then after that, what happens is that oh, are you the great man we've been waiting for? I really hope you're the wizard. Which, in my opinion, like I said on my Nintendo Freak channel when I did the trailer for Oz and Great and Powerful review, I think she was pretty good in this movie. And I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking oh no, well, there's no way she could be slutty or sexual because this is a Disney movie, and they can't do any of that. They do got a history of that in their animation cartoons. They spell the word sex out or some Illuminati shit like that. They'll have something like that, but in this one I don't think they did. Except for maybe all the butterflies or mind control. Maybe that's probably the only Illuminati symbol I could get out of there, but everything else, I couldn't really see it. Yeah, but other than that, what happens is that, yeah, she ends up leading him to the Emerald City, and then that's when she meets this one dude. There's this dude named Nook or whatever. He's one of the servants. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this dude's name is Tony Cox. And his real name was Joseph Anthony Tony Cox. I'm actually looking on Wikipedia. I'll show you a picture of him. He plays Nook. He was on a lot of the Friday movies, and like I said earlier, he was on the Friday movies, and he was also a lot in the Scary Movie movies. That guy right there, I don't know if you recognize him. Real funny ass dude, like I said earlier. Very fucking awesome ass guy. Other than that, you know, what happens is, yeah, my name's not Sourpuss, it's Nook. And so he plays this Nook. And there's this little, they find Mila Kunis and then that other dude, what's his name, James Franco, they end up finding, what's it called? They end up finding this monkey, and he has like these big ass giant wings. That used to be his assistant in the real world, but in this fantasy world, Oz, he ends up being his assistant again. And he's the only one that knows that he's not really a wizard, he's actually a magician, con artist. And then she doesn't know that yet, but he does, you know, and then the monkey too. And then they go to the Emerald City, and then they find this other one, which is other witch. Her name is which is played by Rachel Weisz. Forgot what her name was in the movies, but yeah, she ends up seeing if that dude's a real wizard or not. And then she's all like to James Franco, you think you could have a little time for a second? And then the two witches are talking to each other, her and Mila Kunis, aka the Eleanor. I think her name was Theodora. I'm not sure it was that or Eleanor. But other than that, basically they talk about the whole story, like which one poisoned her father and stuff like that. If he was the original Wizard of Oz before James Franco came in. And then after that, what happens is she gets all pissed off. Mila Kunis like, I'm not in a fucking tempered mood. And then she's like, she has all these fireball powers or whatever. And she's like, you have to be careful with your power, sister. You don't know what kind of temper you got. Father always warned us about that. And then after that, she's like, I don't have a temper. And she's all burning on fire a little bit. I was like, oh shit, she's going to be kind of a bitch in this movie, is she? You know, she wasn't too much like that in Black Swan or Ted or any of those, but this one was pretty fucking good. Or that one with Justin Timberlake she did. I didn't see that one. I think it was called Friends with Benefits. But then that was more like, hold on a second. Hearing brain farts. Hold on. Okay, I thought I heard somebody ring the door, or my dog's chihuahua was barking or some shit. But yeah, let's keep going on with this review. Yeah, basically what happens after that is that, yeah, after they cut those two, the two sisters are arguing with each other and shit, you know. One of the other witches, she takes, what's his name? James Franco, a.k.a. Oz. He takes him to, like, the, what's it called? This golden chamber, all these riches and jewelry and the greatest treasures of mankind. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's all mine, it's all mine. But then the witch ends up informing him that, oh, you got to defeat and kill the other evil witch before it's all yours. He's like, oh, yeah, of course, I can do that. And then she's like, oh, unless, like, oh, you're too scared and we have to go get another wizard. And she was basically escalating him to go, basically. He's like, yes, fine, I'll do it. I'll get all the riches, too. And after that, he goes on this little journey. Like, the first place he goes to with the monkey, little flying monkey, I forgot his name, but yeah, basically he goes to this one place where there's all these teapots and everything. And a lot of people, and I saw a lot of other movie reviewers talk about this, that they did say they got all teary-eyed and jerky. I didn't really, like, cry too much because it wasn't too sad for me. What's it called? They find this little girl, I forgot her name is, but they just call her China Doll. And, like, because everything is made in China, like, with the little China plates and stuff, everything's all glass and it's all Chinese and stuff. No offense to Asians out there, but that's how it was, how the movie portrayed it. You know, with Disney, they've had a long history about racism and shit, so that's really nothing new if it was intentionally racist or not, but you know how they are, yeah. But yeah, other than that, you know, yeah, he finds James Franco, aka Oz, and the little monkey. They find this whole little teacup place which is made out of glass and ends up being all broken and destroyed and just completely like a bat out of hell, just scorched like the hell out, man. Because there's these evil things called like the evil flying bamboos or baboon monkeys or whatever. And eventually they find this little girl, like I called her name was China Doll or something. She's all crying, like, oh, are you okay? He's like, oh, no, go away, you're going to hurt me. And then like, she's like, oh, it's okay, I'm the great and powerful Oz, you know, I'm here to save you, we've come to protect you. And she's like, oh, is it really the Grand Wizard? And then like, we actually had a birthday party because of your arrival. And then our city village got attacked by these evil baboon monkeys. And like, And I saw a couple people in the movie theater. Since when I went there was at least about 200 freaking people when I went over there. This wasn't even on Friday. This was the second day that was out. It was still packed. That one and the other movie, I think, Dead Man Down, a lot of people were in that one too, so it was jam-packed. It was almost a full fucking house. There was about maybe 10, 20 other seats that were empty. The rest was all full. It's crazy as shit too. Other than that, what happened was that, yeah, you know, basically, yeah, she tells him the story about what happened, what's been going on, and then he makes her walk again because I think she was supposed to be the little girl in a wheelchair. He couldn't do it in real life, but he ended up doing it in a fantasy world. He ends up gluing her little legs together, and he tells her, oh, I believe you can walk. Like, I don't know if I can. And she has all this little cuteness and adorableness to her, you know, and a lot of people were crying, like, oh, what's that? And I was like, oh, man. I mean, it's sad, but, you know, I'm not going to cry for that, you know. A movie at the end of the day, you know? But at the same time, you know, it was a little sad, you know, it was a little tearjerker. Yeah, but other than that, what happened was, this would have been like an anime or something, I probably would have fucking cried, but it wasn't, so I was like, that's sad. What happened was, is after that is, what's it called, yeah, she finally goes with them, but James Franco's like, no, we can't let you go into the dark forest of death because, you'll get killed out there. She's like, no, I don't want to go to that movie. I want to go. She kept whining and bitching about it. So like, no, I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. And then like James Franco's, oh, I can't let you go. He's like on his little leg. He's like, I'm not gonna let you go. And she's like, oh, fine, I'll let you go. Finally, well, you can come to the forest of death with us. And then like the monkey and James Franco looking at each other like, what? And after that, later on, they finally get to the forest of death, and then they find these scarecrows, which I saw this on the trailer review. Was just called, oh, you'll die. These scarecrows are like, you'll die, get out, get out. And then like the little monkey was like, actually no, the monkey didn't say it. James Franco was all like, did those crows just say we're gonna die? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And after that, they go into the forest, and let me just check how long this video's been lasting. Almost 20 minutes. Try to cut this really fucking short as I can, but yeah. Basically, they go in the forest of death, and all these little things are, what's it called? These little piranha plants that they show in the 3D. They're all biting at them. It's like, oh no, run for the hills and all that shit. And after that, what happened after that was that they finally find one of the witches. That they find out it's not the evil witch, it's Glenda, the good witch. Which I know in the old Wizard of Oz and the Dorothy and the original one, when the first Technicolor movies came out, that's what her first name was, Glenda, the good witch. There was only 2 witches instead of 3. But this is a prequel, so this is basically everything that happens before Dorothy, the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and the Lion come out, you know? And they do make a couple of references towards them, too. They'll talk about Cowardly Lion. They have this army of scarecrows. They have all these tinker guys that know how to do Steel Men and Tin Men and stuff like that. And then they talk about a Cowardly Lion that tries to attack James Franco, but then he goes away, so it's magic. So they do make references to the original Wizard of Oz, but, you know, it's pretty cool, you know? But that's what happens in the future. So I don't know if they do make a sequel towards this. Probably going to be in about 5-10 years from now, which I'll be old as shit. I might not even be in Vegas anymore by then. But yeah. Other than that, what happens is, yeah, they find Glenda the good witch. She's a good one. There's one real funny part in the movie where the monkey's all like, moo, moo. And everyone was laughing their heads off. And I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh, Jesus. One of the funniest, epicest fucking parts in that movie was when they started to say moo. And then after that, what happens is, like, the little girl, she's like, oh, I want to be a heart. I'm going to be a heart. He's like, okay, fine, you can be a heart. And after that, they run into Glenda the Good Witch, like I said. And then all these baboons and the soldier guys from Emerald City, they're trying to, like, track them down and shit like that. And then they finally get away, and Glenda the Good Witch uses this fog water spell, and then she just blasts them all the way to the park. It's crazy. And then they jump off a big-ass fucking mountain, and they're like, oh, you gotta trust me. You have to trust me, Oz, the great and powerful Wizard Oz. And after that, James Franco jumps down, and then they go into these little bubble things. And then after that, what happened after that? And I say after that a lot, but deal with it. They go into this other city. It's not Emerald City. It's kind of like Little House on the Prairie kind of vibe. So it's kind of like that. Then Glenda the Good Witch, she introduces Mr. Oz, a.k.a. Oscar, Mr. James Franco. She introduces him to all the little villagers, like the tinker men, the farmers, the sewers, and then like the children and everything. She introduces them what are their hobbies, what are they real good at, what are their talents and everything. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then they show these other guys. I forgot they were called the Munchkins. I think that's what they called them, the Munchkins. They were in the original one, which was pretty fucking cool. They made a comeback again. And they do little theme songs. There's only 3 theme songs in this, by the way, so if you're a big Broadway Hollywood fan, you know, you might not like it too much, but you know what? Just appreciate the art and the CGI, you know? And they go into the break, and then James Franco's like, hey, guys, take 5. And then after that, what happens is James Franco, he ends up finally spilling the beans and telling the truth that he's not really a wizard. He's actually a magician con artist to Glenda the Good Witch. And he's like, oh, what I was... But they don't know that. The citizens of this great city do not know you're actually a real wizard. They don't think you're a con artist or a fake or a magician. He's like, as long as they don't know that, they'll still believe and have faith in you. And he's like, yeah, I know that, but I don't want to give their hopes up, you know? And then he goes in a little argument with her and stuff like that, like, oh, fine, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. And she's kind of acting a little bitchy about it. And then, like, he ends up changing his mind because the little China doll girl, she's like, oh, I want you to wish my grandpappy back. I want him to bring hope and restoration to Oz and the Emerald City. And I'm like, James Franco, he has to change his heart, so he changes his mind. He's like, you know what? Let's do this. I'm a magician. I'm an illusionist, so I'm going to try to win this fight with the 2 witches. And after that, you know, finally, meanwhile, back in Emerald City, what's it called? What's her name? Fucking Mila Kunis and the other one, Eleanor Mila Kunis, and that other girl, I'm trying to remember her name. Rachel Weisz, yeah. They'll start talking about each other. He's like, see, he was a con artist. He's a magician, you know? He was fake. And then, like, she gives Mila Kunis this poison apple, so it's kind of a little bit of a rip-off of Snow White a little bit. And then, like, she's like, okay, I'll take this. She's like, ah! She's dying of poison. And she's like, what's happened to me, sister? What did you give me? And then she's like, Rachel Weisz is like, oh, I just gave you a evil, bad heart, poisonous apple, whatever it is. They didn't really put a specific name for it. It's the bad apple, that's all. It's like, oh, it'll wither your heart away. You'll be dead in seconds, but you'll come back to life as the evil witch. And after that, it's like, oh, and she just changes form. She wants a beautiful piece of ass witch to a real ugly ass witch, which she ends up looking like the original witch from the old Wizard of Oz. She's like, it's like, oh, I could just do a simple spell to change you back to your original beautiful form. She's like, no, I want him to look. I want him to see what he's done to me, what she's looked at me like this. You know, like, he's the one that made me look ugly on the outside. And she does that little laugh. She goes, like that. I was like, oh, shit, it's about to hit the fan, bro. Shit is hitting the fan like a boss. And after that, I was like, this shit is crazy, man. And then after a while, when James Franco and everyone else, Gilda the Good Witch, the monkey, and the China doll, and all the other good guys are in the other village, when they're doing their little thing here and there, they're all like, oh, how are we going to defeat the Wizard of Oz? And I was like, we'll just do it by illusion. Magic and illusion always never fails. And then, like, the Tinkermen are building all these big giant, like, what's it called? These little machines for scarecrows. And then they're building a big giant, like, telescope or whatever. Like, make sure it reaches to the beacons of space or whatever. And I was like, pretty scientific. And then after that, what happens is that, obviously, this shit gets real crazy when, they make all these little, like I said earlier, they make this little army of, scarecrows. And after that, the sewers, they're sewing all the scarecrows together because, you know, they want to scare everyone off. And then they make little fireworks because, what's her name? That one girl, Gilda the Good Witch, she ends up saying, I had never seen fireworks. It's fireworks. You know, they got that old school English kind of accent, but still cool. It's like, oh yeah, you'll see it. You'll find out. It's like magic, but real life. And then after that, once all said and done, the 2 witches, they end up finding where Gilda the Good Witch is at and James Franco and the rest of the cast. So all the soldiers and the baboon monkeys, the flying baboon monkeys are trying to break through the shield that Gilda the Good Witch put up. It's like, no way, there's no way they can break through as long as only one witch is there, but both of the witches were there, so they broke through. And then a big giant little meteor asteroid ends up smashing the crap out of the other little Wizard of Oz place. And after that, they actually find out it's actually Mila Kunis, but she's in her ugly form now. She's not hot and sexy anymore. And when I saw how she looked, I was like, holy shit. I thought the devil was ugly. She's even uglier than the devil. But yeah, what's it called? She was like the Incredible Hulk meets freaking, Loki from the Avengers. That's what she looked like. And then after that, actually, no, she looked a little bit more like the Green Goblin, but the female version. And instead of her throwing plasma beams, she actually throws fire instead. So it's like the female version of the Green Goblin from Spider-Man, the older one with Tobey Maguire, and the old James Franco, you know? But yeah, other than that, what happens is that she's like, oh, I'll get you, my pretty, and like just how she did with Dorothy and everything. It's like, you're the one that made me like this. And then like the way they show her is real super CGI. They must have put a lot of makeup on her because she looked completely fucking different. I don't know if it was just a computerized character or if that was really actually her acting. It was real fucking awesome either way. And then she looks at James Franco's like, oh, witches need brooms, don't they? Didn't you tell me that? And after that, she takes off. She does her little signature laugh, like, hee, like that. And she leaves a black trail of smoke, and all the people are all scared. And it's like, oh, no, what are we going to do? We're so scared for our lives, you know? And then after that, the two witches leave off, and then James Franco's like, we're going to war. And after that, what happens is that the whole big final season finale of the fight, you know, they end up going head-to-head with the two witches versus one, the Gilda, the good witch. And after that, she has a little magic wand with her. That's the only way she can use her powers. And then after that, what happens is that they send the little scarecrows out first, and Gilda, the good witch, uses that fog spell that she did before, the little wand. So she's on some Harry Potter shit right now, too. After that, what happens is that all the baboons, they start attacking those little fake illusionists, what's it called? The scarecrows, and they figure out, like, what, there's no blood or guts? There's only hay? And then they get tricked. They get all pissed off, like, ah! And after that, they use this sleep powder for these flowers or whatever. And I'm like, that's definitely some Harry Potter shit. So there was a couple of Harry Potter references because they had a lot of these magic and spells and incantations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of like some My Little Pony stuff with Twilight, you know? If any Brony fans out there, you know, bros up to you, because that's an awesome-ass fucking show. I don't care what any of the haters or trolls say. They can go fuck off. No, that's how it is. And after that, what happens is Mila Kunis gets all pissed off, like, oh, they think they can make a fool out of us? How dare they step up to us and march into our kingdom? And after that, what happens is that everyone else, they sneak in and they put all these fireworks out of nowhere. It's the craziest shit. Battles are epic, you know. There's only two flying baboon monkeys that survived, so they got out of the sleeping powder flowers or whatever. And after that, that's when the real war begins. They end up breaking into Emerald City and stuff, and then the black dude, I forgot his name, Tony Cox, the little ninja dude, he's like, man, I'm the federal, like, generation, you know, you better listen to me, I'm gonna kick your ass, and kind of like that, but it's a little nicer little kid way, you know? And after that, you know, they did the Emerald City, and all the three witches start fighting each other, and James Franco, he basically comes out of nowhere, and he's like, he's a big giant head, because everyone thinks he escaped from a hot air balloon, because he wanted this one other dude, like, can you build me a hot air balloon so I can escape Oz? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? Go for it. It is what it is. And after that, yeah, like Mila Kunis, she blows up the big-ass giant hot air balloon. Like, ha-ha, he dies. And after that, it wasn't actually him. It was somebody else. It was just a big pile of gold, so he could be a diversion, a distraction, so he can do his little illusion thing. It ends up being a big giant head. It's like, silence, silent the great and powerful Oz. You know, very best performance out of the whole movie. This is finishing now. And it's like, oh, you will obey me. And he's throwing all these fireballs and everything back at Mila Kunis and Rachel Weisz, the two evil witches, because they're holding Gilda, the good witch, hostage, and they're going to kill her and stuff because they don't want evil to prevail instead of good, so it's just justice versus evil, you know. And after that, last but not least, what happens is that, what's it called? Okay, I've been on this almost 30 minutes, so I'm going to, like, cut it down in 1 second. 1 minute, excuse me. And then after that, what happens is she gets all pissed off, like, no, this can't be. You're only an imposter. You're not a real wizard. And they're like, I do have the power. And then he has all the people from the older village, other Emerald City. They throw these fireworks in the air, and they light a match, and they go, they just blow the hell out of the whole fucking sky, literally. Skylight the whole fucking place on fire. And after that, he's like, feel my wrath, feel my power, you know. James Franco's literally getting the character here. This is like the best he's ever done in many years. And after that, what happens is that, it's like, I am the real Wizard of Oz. And then Mila Kunis, she runs away. Actually, no, Rachel Weisz runs away. She fights Gilda the Good Witch on her own. And Mila Kunis is like, you coward, you coward. And then what's his name? James Franco, he tells Mila Kunis, a.k.a. the evil witch, the ugly, Incredible Hulk, Green Goblin witch now. She's like, and Lenora, like, I know you're not evil, so if you ever want to have a change of heart, you know, you can always come back to Emerald City. And, like, she's like, never, I'll always hate you. So she's going to hold that grudge against him the rest of his life. Because before and earlier in the movie, like I said before, you know, she falls in love with him. She cares about him. She has a lot of trust in him, you know. the one is just like, oh, you are the great and powerful Oz. I'm like, she had a lot of love and heart for him, but since he broke her heart later on, she hated him for that. So now she hates him for the rest of his life. She's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Fuck you. And then she gets out with her broom. And she's like, ah, ha, ha, again. That's the last time we see her. So we don't know what happens to her after that. And after that, Rachel Weisz, the other witch, she has electrical powers, these electrical green powers. She's fighting Gilda the Good Witch. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be an epic-ass battle. If only I had Gilly's theme in the background, this would be so much better. And after that, Rachel Weisz kind of kissed the crap out of the Good Witch a couple times, Gilda. Or Glenda, not Gilda. I'm thinking about my MLP again, My Little Pony. And then what happens after that, like Glenda, excuse me. I keep mixing that fucking name out. I don't know why. She ends up doing one last attempt, like, you will not, you will not prevail. And then, like, she uses her wand against her, and then she breaks her emerald jewels that gave her the electrical powers, and she can't do it no more. She's like, no, what's happening? No. And then she becomes old and ugly. She doesn't even look like a girl anymore after that. She looks like a man. It's like, this is how your true form will be. And he's like, you'll never get away with this. And then these two baboons that survived that little sleep powder thing earlier, they end up capturing her, and then, like, they go to another land. So both of those evil sisters are gone. And Gilda the Good Witch ends up ruling Emerald City because she's the rightful owner towards it the whole time. And then James Franco, he finally thanks everyone. He gives everyone a little gift and a present at the end. Like, he gives China Dolls, like, a brand new family. He gives the little, what's it called, the little monkey baboon thing. Not monkey baboon, but the nice monkey one, the one that was a servant. I think he gives him, like, a little banana. And then the other one, the tinker guy, the moreno dude, the black dude, he ends up giving him, like, what's it called, this little telescope thing from the past, or I think he gives him a pocket knife. He's like, this is for all your troubles. And he's like, yes, I will cherish this forever. And after that, everything gets called on, and then the Gilda the Good Witch and James Franco, a.k.a. Oz, they end up kissing and making out. They love each other, so I guess he marries her later on. And then that's the whole movie, the end. You know, it fades out. The movie was pretty good. There was actually one of the songs at the end of the movie for the ending credits was actually sung by Mariah Carey, so it was a very beautiful song. You know, very legendary artist there. You know, she's doing American Idol and shit now, but, you know, still pretty good nevertheless. After that, what happened was, you know, the end credits, and that's it. So I know this is well over 30 minutes, so I do apologize for the longness of this video. But yeah, it was pretty good overall. You know, graphics were well on point, you know, well detailed. The CGI in this freaking movie was very boss. Had nothing to really do with Alice in Wonderland. It was no ripoff at all. It was a completely different world. They interact with their CGI counterparts very fucking well, like if they really existed. Like this one part where they're showing the fairies are biting James Franco's legs. He's like, oh, get out of here. The river fairies are killing him. It was funny as shit. And then they sing the Jack in the Box song like, like that. And it was pretty fucking funny. And last but not least, the acting was extremely professional. Everyone clapped at the end. It was real cool. You know, CGI was cool. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a game off of this, maybe for PS4 or 720 in the future, maybe. Sky's the limit on that. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for now. So until next time, it is what it is, ain't what it ain't. See you when I see you. Peace the fuck out. I'm gone. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Take care. Peace out. God bless. See you on the next vlog. Take care. Goodbye. And, late. And, be safe.